Top 10 games of all time. We searched the internet, taking into account copies sold, reviews, and public interest, and we've come up with what could be hailed as the definitive list of most popular games ever. 1. Uncharted 2: Among Thieves. A 2009 action-adventure game developed by Naughty Dog and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. Uncharted 2 began immediately following the critical and commercial success of the first entry. It received universal acclaim for its elaborate set pieces, character design, storytelling, graphics, technical innovation, and gameplay mechanics. It received Game of the Year accolades from numerous publications and award events. It has sold over 6 million copies worldwide. 2. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. An open-world stealth game developed by Kojima Productions and published by Konami. The story follows mercenary leader Snake as he ventures into Soviet-occupied Afghanistan and the Angola-Zaire border region to exact revenge on the people who destroyed his forces and came close to killing him during the climax of Ground Zeroes. The Phantom Pain was critically acclaimed upon release for its variety of mechanics and interconnected systems, which allow a high degree of player freedom in approaching objectives. The Phantom Pain received perfect review scores from several publications and was described by some critics as one of the greatest stealth games of all time. 3. Dark Souls. A 2011 action role-playing game developed by From Software and published by Namco Bandai Games. Dark Souls takes place in the fictional kingdom of Lordran, where players assume the role of a cursed undead character who begins a pilgrimage to discover the fate of their kind. Dark Souls received critical acclaim, with many citing it as one of the greatest video games of all time. Critics praised the depth of its combat and intricate level design. However, the game's difficulty came into some criticism for being too unforgiving. 4. Batman: Arkham City. A 2011 action-adventure game developed by Rocksteady Studios and published by Warner Bros. The game is presented from the third-person perspective, with a primary focus on Batman's combat and stealth abilities, detective skills, and gadgets that can be used in both combat and exploration. Batman can move freely around Arkham City, interacting with characters and undertaking missions, and unlocking new areas by progressing through the main story or obtaining new equipment. The game received critical acclaim, particularly for its narrative, character, and world design. It was tied for the highest-rated video game of 2011, according to Metacritic. 5. Call of Duty: Modern Warfare. A 2007 first-person shooter developed by Infinity Ward and published by Activision. It's the fourth main installment in the Call of Duty series. The game breaks away from the World War II setting of previous entries and is instead set in modern times. The multiplayer portion of the game features various game modes and contains a leveling system that allows the player to unlock additional weapons, weapon attachments, and camouflage schemes as they advance. The game received universal acclaim from critics, with the gameplay and story receiving particular praise, while criticism targeted the failure of the game to substantially innovate the first-person shooter genre. The game won numerous awards from gaming websites, including IGN's Best Xbox 360 Game. It was the top-selling game worldwide for 2007, selling around 7 million copies. 6. The Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim. An action role-playing game developed by Bethesda Game Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks. The game's main story revolves around the player character, the Dragonborn, on their quest to defeat Alduin the World Eater, a dragon who is prophesied to destroy the world. The game is set 200 years after the events of Oblivion. It is considered to be one of the greatest RPGs of all time. The game shipped over 7 million copies to retailers within the first week of its release, and over 30 million copies on all platforms as of November 2016, making it one of the best-selling video games in history. 7. Halo: Combat Evolved. A first-person shooter developed by Bungie and published by Microsoft Game Studios. Halo is set in the 26th century, with the player assuming the role of the Master Chief, a cybernetically enhanced super soldier. Players battle various aliens as they attempt to uncover the secrets of the eponymous Halo, a ring-shaped artificial world. Halo was a critical and commercial success. The game spawned a multi-billion-dollar multimedia franchise that incorporates games, books, toys, and films. More than 5 million copies had been sold worldwide by November 2005. 8. Mass Effect 2. An action role-playing game developed by BioWare and published by Electronic Arts. The game takes place within the Milky Way galaxy during the 22nd century. The player assumes the role of Commander Shepard, an elite human soldier who must construct and gain the loyalty of a diverse team and stop the enemy in a suicide mission. Mass Effect 2 was a commercial success and received critical acclaim from video game publications, with the Xbox 360 version holding a score of 96 out of 100 on Metacritic. Critics praised multiple aspects of the game, including its interactive storytelling, characterization, and combat. The game received numerous year-end awards, including Game of the Year at the 14th Annual Interactive Achievement Awards. 9. The Last of Us, a 2013 action-adventure game developed by Naughty Dog and published by Sony. The Last of Us is played from a third-person perspective. Players use firearms and improvised weapons to defend against hostile humans and cannibalistic creatures infected by a mutated strain of fungus. For most of the game, the player takes control of Joel, a man tasked with escorting a young girl, Ellie, across the United States. The Last of Us became one of the best-selling video games of all time, selling over 1.3 million units in the first week and 17 million by April 2018. The game won year-end accolades, including multiple Game of the Year awards from several gaming publications and critics. It has been cited as one of the greatest video games ever made. 10. Watch Dogs, a 2014 action-adventure game developed by Ubisoft Montreal and published by Ubisoft. The game is played from a third-person perspective, and the world is navigated on foot or by vehicle. The game received generally favorable reviews. Praise was directed at the gameplay, mission and open-world design, combat system, hacking elements, and mission variety. The game is set in a fictionalized version of Chicago, an open-world environment, which permits free roaming. It has a day and night cycle and dynamic weather system. Watch Dogs was a commercial success, breaking the record for the biggest first-day sales of a Ubisoft game, shipping over 10 million copies. Thanks for watching!